The inter-kingdom warfare which followed the death of Brian Boru eventually resulted in Diarmuid MacMurrough turning to Henry II and his Norman warlords for aid in resolving his disputes with his fellow Irish chieftains Rory O'Connor over the province of Meath and Tiernan O'Rourke, whose wife he had stolen. The Pope at the time, Adrian IV, was an Englishman who treacherously ignored Ireland's long-standing loyalty to Rome and granted Henry permission by a bill of laudabiliter to invade Ireland in the name of God. Norman victory was swift and relatively easy, as the feuding Irish were no match for the better armed, efficiently trained and highly experienced Normans. Nevertheless, once they had gained control of Ireland, the conquerors didn't quite seem to know what to do with it, and simply settled down among the Irish. Over the following centuries, as the Normans became more Irish than the Irish themselves, the Gaelic chieftains gradually regained control of most of the island. In 1366, the Statutes of Kilkenny were passed in an attempt to end Irish ways by legislation, but these laws were virtually ignored by Gael and Norman alike. The strongest Gaelic chieftain, Art MacMurrough Kavana, by now High King of Ireland in all but name, grew so strong that Richard II twice brought across armies to Ireland to suppress Kavana, but both attempts failed. When England's War of the Roses between the houses of York and Lancaster stretched on for almost a year, the support of the Norman families in Ireland grew increasingly important. When the Yorkists eventually triumphed, they favoured the Fitzgeralds of the House of Kildare as reward for their support and made Gearoid Moore Fitzgerald Chief Governor of Ireland. He too was now King of Ireland in all but title. Even the ascent to the throne of a Lancastrian failed to undermine his power. However, all of this would change totally and most dramatically with the arrival of the Tudor King Henry VIII on the English throne. Life in Ireland would never be the same again, and relations with our English neighbours would encounter a new set of difficulties which we are still attempting to resolve in the 21st century.